Hi y'all, hi collective, how are y'all doing? If you are a returner, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am Sarah, this is Cancer Capricorn Guidance, and I'm here to bring you love, light, and guidance through tarot, astrology, and spirituality. In my description box, before we get started, you can find my email. If you want to do a personal reading with me, I'm open to doing bookings. Just send me an email and we can set something up. My Instagram is also in my description box. There's some Spotify playlist links in my description box if you really like music and want to check some new stuff out. I put some playlists in there. You can check out my PayPal link if you would like to donate to this channel. It would mean so much to me, so thank you if you do that. You can find the link to my Etsy shop where I have really cute stickers up there for sale. It's just another way to support this channel, so thank you so much if you choose to make a purchase there. And those stickers were designed by the lovely Hanna D'ames. She also did these lovely designs behind me, so I linked her Etsy shop and her Instagram down below if you want to check out her stuff. That's basically everything in my description box. Everything else you need to know is down there. I just like to get that out of the way at the beginning. For anyone that's new here, I kind of just do a lot of tarot. I talk about astrology a lot. If you're just discovering my channel, hi. I've changed up my channel and kinds of content I do. I really decided that I really just want to start hopping on here and just doing random collective readings when I feel called to do it. I felt very tapped in the last day or two, and so I decided that I wanted to do a collective reading just for anybody who comes across this. Doesn't matter your zodiac sign, doesn't matter whatever. If it resonates with you, it resonates with you. If you like the title and that speaks to you, check out this video. If you are here because of the timestamp and that is an angel number to you, awesome. I'm really happy to have you here. So I just wanted to sit down and do a collective reading just because sometimes I feel really pulled to do them. So basically, just for the astrology aspect, right now, today is May 7th, and this coming week we have Venus going into Gemini, which is my natal Venus placement. We have a new moon in Taurus, which is going to be absolutely lovely. I love that energy. And then we have Jupiter moving into Pisces. Love this energy. I'll get into it in a little bit. That's also one of my natal planets, Jupiter and Pisces. And then before we know it, it'll be Gemini season. I am going to be putting out readings for the elements for Gemini season, so keep on the lookout for those readings. But yeah, so Venus in Gemini is going to be interesting. I think this is going to bring in a lot of fun, flirty, lighthearted energy. Anything that we've been kind of focusing our time on and putting some energy into, it's going to start to feel less heavy and serious. Like we take things really seriously in Taurus season, and we try to get real about how we're going to go about new projects and new relationships and how we're kind of moving about those things. And Venus in Gemini just reminds us to kick back and have a little fun, kind of go towards where your mental energy is kind of guiding you and leading you. Just go towards what is interesting to you and have fun, keep it light. And just be careful with overspending. Right now, you may be tempted to really spend extra money on hobbies and interests and like new projects you're starting up. Like you're getting really excited about things, so you're starting to spend money in certain areas. Be careful about your spending. From my experience, Geminis have a tendency to overspend on certain things. Okay, and then we have a new moon in Taurus, I think on the 11th. That's going to be really lovely energy. I feel like that's going to be a really good time to set intentions regarding new things we want to settle into. Like Taurus is very much about luxury and home and comfort. This is about setting new intentions. If you've been trying to think about, moving into a new job, moving to a new place, starting new things, this is going to be a good time to kind of set intentions regarding how do you want to go about that? What makes you feel good and secure? It doesn't make you feel safe. Is it worth your time, energy, investment? Is this something that you want to put kind of a commitment is this something that you kind of want to commit to in some way? Because Taurus, when they really commit to something, they're really about it. So this is a good time to set intentions regarding those things. And then we have Jupiter going into Pisces. This is going to be such beautiful energy. I really like this energy because Jupiter is the planet of expansion and growth, and how we kind of transition from one phase of our life into the next, like how learning new information and experiences help us grow into new people and grow into new phases of our life. And Jupiter and Pisces energy, I think we could all use this right now. This is really going to be about opening up emotionally, being more open and communicative and emotionally connecting with others, spiritually connecting with others, spiritually connecting with ourselves. This could be a really good time to tap into your spirituality. If you're very new to these things, this is a beautiful time to get into and start to learn about astrological things and spiritual things and tarot and all those kinds of things. I think this is going to be a good time for the collective in general to kind of get back in touch with our spirituality or explore new aspects of our spirituality. Like, there's room for growth here in terms of your spiritual self, your emotional self, and this is going to be a really beautiful time that we can actually use these spiritual, emotional kinds of energies to actually help us with like everyday practical things in life. Like, you know, we're growing and moving into new phases. How has our spirituality guided us along the way? How has it not? How have we used our emotions to our advantage? Have we really emotionally connected with others around us? Like, how have we grown and changed emotionally? Those are all going to be really beautiful Jupiter and Pisces themes. I really love that placement. So that'll be really interesting. And then before we know it, it'll be Gemini season, the sun in Gemini. And then right after that, we have Mercury going retrograde in Gemini. So it's been a while since we've had any planets in retrograde. But now we're going to be moving into a phase where there is more. Right now, Pluto is in retrograde in Capricorn, and I've definitely been feeling that energy, that pressure of, I want to change, I want to make changes in my life, but there's still that Capricorn structure and tradition and like rules that are putting pressure on us. And that's kind of some stuff we have to work through and look at in terms of like, is that restriction? Is that institution? Is that rule? Is that structure helping us, or is it kind of holding us back? So those are just some astrological things happening. Those are some themes that are coming up. But I was kind of downloading a lot of that energy because we are in this Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. I've kind of been feeling and downloading a lot of that energy. The candle just went out. That's interesting. Kind of been feeling a lot of that energy of, we're trying to make changes. We're trying to move forward. We're trying to just like make these transitions in our lives, especially with that Scorpio full moon. You might have really felt the weight of, wow, I'm really changing as a person. I have changed as a person. I'm trying to move into new phases of my life. I'm trying to let the past go and really cleanse and refresh myself emotionally. But there's some residue of some old restrictive ways of thinking, some old ways of doing things, maybe on a more collective level. Like, there's some old arbitrary rules that are holding us back. There's some traditions and structures and like institutions that are set up to kind of get in our way more than help us. So I've really been feeling that energy on a collective level, and I think Jupiter and Pisces is going to help us expand beyond that, using our more intangible gifts like emotions and spirituality. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting download that we've all been, I don't know if y'all have been feeling that. Let me know in the comments. If you're trying to make changes right now, but you feel the pressure of, you feel pressure that some certain things are holding you back, Capricornian type things. So I don't know if I'm explaining all of this well, but I like to get into the astrology just a little bit because there's some interesting things happen. Interesting things happening. Okay. Mercury is just, ever since Mercury went into Gemini, I feel like I can't stop talking fast and tripping over my words. I know I do that usually, but it's been extra bad lately. Anyway, let's pull some cards and see what comes out for the collective. See if any of those same messages I was kind of tapping into come up. Can I please see some messages for the collective? Any messages that they need to hear at this time during this astrological time? Is there anything that the collective really needs to know about their growth, their journey, their healing? I feel like a lot of you are realizing that you can't start certain things, or certain opportunities that may have been on the table for you have fallen through in the past because there was a part of you that was doing some shadow work or kind of working through a lot of tough emotions. There may have been some opportunities that you missed out on or things that you procrastinated on. or opportunities missed because you were doing a lot of internal work, you were doing a lot of shadow work, you were trying to work through some tough emotions, you were trying to make sense of a lot of the things that you were feeling. Maybe the Scorpio full moon helped you really reflect on a lot of that energy. But there's things that fell through and you realized it was because you were not emotionally ready for them. And so maybe as of recently, you've been reflecting on missed opportunities in the past and how maybe where you were at emotionally was affecting that, or that was the reason why you missed out on certain things. You're in the process of kind of letting yourself go, releasing yourself from a lot of these pent-up feelings, releasing a lot of these pent-up feelings in general. You're in the process of kind of loosening yourself up from this feeling of feeling stuck for a while. It could have something to do with you were really hung up on these missed opportunities and it took you a long time to get to a place where you were like, oh, it was because I wasn't in the greatest emotional spot to receive those things. And so I think you're releasing yourself from the disappointment of not having had those things work out for you. I think you've maybe been taking some much needed rest and time out to reflect on things, think about things, do some meditating. Maybe you really got into the practice of meditation as of recently. You've been tapping into your spirituality. You've been spending more time alone. You've been really like sitting with your thoughts, being mindful, protecting your energy, resting when you need to, taking care of yourself. Maybe you've been in a period of rest for a little while. And you're trying to get out of that energy of, I don't feel stuck. I'm just in a space where I'm not doing much right now because I needed this rest period. Maybe you missed out on an opportunity that you shouldn't have had because it would have just emotionally exhausted you. And there's this energy of, I feel like there's this energy of, I just missed getting caught about something, or I got away with something. Or there's a part of you that feels guilty for taking this period of rest. There's a part of you that feels guilty for taking this time out to do this for yourself and work through your shadow stuff, work through those heavier emotions. There's a part of you that feels like you're still working through it and holding information inside. Like there's things that you're not telling people and it's like a little bit burdensome that you can't tell people, but it's because there's a lot you're still trying to make sense of. I think it has to do with certain endings that came about in your life. I feel like certain things really came to an end because you took the time out to rest, because you took that time to really reflect and meditate and work through some shadow stuff. I think there's still this residue of like feeling guilty about the ways that you were in the past because of unresolved issues, unresolved emotional baggage and stuff of that nature. But it's led you to a point where you were able to put an end to things that really needed to have an ending. And I think there's a part of you that feels guilty where it's like, I finally took this time out to reflect on a lot and it made me realize all the things that I actually need to cut out of my life. And it's put you in a current position where you're a lot more cautious than you used to be. You're a little bit more hesitant about jumping into new things, or maybe now you're at a place where you've been in this restful period for a long time. You're ready to come out of that. You're ready to become unstuck from this energy, but you're feeling very hesitant. You feel like you can't move forward. You feel like you're very afraid and hesitant to take any leaps forward. Maybe you're taking baby steps right now because you're very unsure about a lot of things. You're very uncertain about the next few steps. I feel like you've been taking this time out because it's very necessary for yourself. I don't know why I'm dropping everything. And now you've kind of worked through a lot of this stuff. You've let certain things come to endings, maybe certain emotional cycles, maybe certain relationships that you realize you really needed to cut out. And now you're in a place where you're like, hold up, I gotta slow down a little bit. Let me make sure I'm good before I jump back into things. That full reverse is telling me that you're like, okay, I gotta be more careful now. Before I jump into anything new, before I start up again, before I get going again, before I come out of this restful, reflective, isolated period. I wouldn't be surprised if the hair came out. I'm just going to keep pulling cards. I really like the readings where I just pull cards. some messages for the collective. The Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, you're working on establishing your independence, or you feel like you have established that independence for yourself. You've really gotten to a point where you can provide for yourself. You're very self-sufficient. You don't really need help from anybody, and maybe it's gotten to a point where you're like in a mindset of, no, everybody get away from me. I don't need your help, and it's come to a more unhealthy thing, and that's why you're feeling very hesitant to move forward, because you really want to make sure you're making the right moves for yourself, because you know that you're the one who, if something goes wrong, you got to figure it out. If something goes right, it's on you. I feel like yeah, there's that Ten of Swords again, but in reverse. I feel like you come to a place where you're like, I'm very independent now. I got my own. I'm good. And so I'm not really as upset about these Ten of Swords endings. You know, they were necessary. I had to cut out a lot of these energies from my life. And I'm realizing that it's brought me to a place of personal strength, individual strength. I'm very independent and I'm very proud of myself for that. Like, I can handle a lot of things alone. And so I'm slowly learning to let go of a lot of this pain of like, I had to cut all these people off. I had to be alone. I had to remove myself from a lot of energies that weren't good for me. And I'm healing that now because I'm very grateful for how independent it's made me. I'm very grateful for how strong I am and how able and capable I am of handling things all on my own. I see a lot of that energy. And you're a lot more discerning now. You're a lot more picky about the things that you're choosing to jump into. Or maybe you're not jumping into things at all. You don't like jumping into things. You're a lot more slow when it comes to those things now. Not only are you kind of letting go of the pain of having had, I'm seeing that there's like some relationships that you really had to cut off. There were some people that you just felt were being, yeah, I think you took some time out to reflect and you realized that there were a lot of people in your life who, a lot of connections in your life that felt really inauthentic. They felt fake, they felt shallow, they felt very surface level. You felt like there was a lot of people in your energy, in your life who weren't truthful to you, like didn't show up as themselves, and so you felt like you couldn't be yourself around them. There are a lot of relationships that you cut yourself out of, and it just took some time being away from them for you to realize that. And so you're finally moving on and realizing, wow, I'm really independent now. I feel good. Like I've established a lot for myself. I've done a lot on my own at this point, and so I'm not as upset. I'm healing a lot of the energy of all the relationships I had to cut out, all the negative energies I had to cut out of my life, and I'm really like letting go of the resentment I held towards those people, because it really wasn't about them. It was about you and what you needed to do, about your energy and the things that you want. I think you're realizing it's not that personal. It's something that was kind of necessary for the journey that you're on. And you're learning to let go of a lot of that resentment, a lot of that tension, a lot of the almost grudge energy. You're letting a lot of that go because you don't really want to be in that energy anymore, because you're realizing that you're not truly moved on until you're not truly moved on from a lot of these energies or people from your life until you can kind of let go of the residue of resentment or, yeah, those grudgy feelings of like still talking about them, still talking negatively about them when they come up. Yeah, I feel like you've really healed and moved on, and you're still working on no, I don't have any negative feelings towards them anymore. I really don't. And actually meaning that when you say that. I feel like there's like this energy of like, yeah, I'm really glad that I've become very independent, but I'm still a little bit bitter that I had to do that. I'm still a little bit bitter that I felt like I had to go about things on my own, and I had to leave people behind because they had left me behind. There's like a resentment here. There's some bitterness here, but you're trying to let that go. You're trying to heal a lot of that. Any other messages here for the collective? The Lovers and the Hanged Man again. I feel like you're going to be presented with a choice. You're going to be presented with maybe a new connection that could potentially put you back in a position of feeling stuck, put you back in the same position of these aren't good energies. I don't like being around these types of people. I'm jumping into this connection because it's there. there's almost this energy of, do I heal this connection with this person because I've healed and moved on and I don't have those bitter feelings towards them anymore? Or is it more worth it to just completely move on with your life and not really reopen that connection, not reopen that relationship? And this could be any kind of relationship. Maybe there was a fallout with you and a family member. Maybe there was a fallout with you and a friend. There was someone that you really had to cut out because they weren't serving a solid, it doesn't even have to be like they did something terribly wrong. It could just be that something didn't feel right. It could just be that you didn't feel like your authentic self when you were around them. It could just be that you were moving up and on in your life and you kind of outgrew the connection. You kind of outgrew the relationship. They weren't adding value to your life. And so now you may be presented with the choice of, do I reopen this connection? Do I try to be warm to this person again? Do I try to reestablish a sense of trust and communication with this person? You know, I've moved on. I'm not bitter anymore. Maybe we could be friends. Maybe we could be good. Maybe we could be cool. But it's almost like it's presenting itself as opening yourself up to them and being warm towards them might just put you back in a position of feeling stuck. Feeling like you gave in. Feeling like you're letting people in and giving in when you shouldn't have. Maybe someone did lie to you with that Seven of Swords. Maybe someone did try to put something past you. Maybe someone betrayed you in some way or really hurt you and did something pretty sneaky and selfish even. Maybe they lied to you or hid something from you. And that was the reason that you had to cut off that connection. And you slowly let go of a lot of the bitterness and resentment. But now it's almost presenting as a choice of like, do you want to stay stuck in that energy? Like maybe you're really trying to work through this bitterness. You don't want to feel that anymore. And so you have the choice to move on, or you have the choice to go back to stay stuck in that energy. It's just going to keep you held up. It's just going to make you feel stuck. The Seven of Cups. You have a lot of options here. I think that there's something to do with illusion here. Like, I feel like there's a lot of other emotional opportunities for you coming your way or coming in for you. There's going to be new things coming in that look a certain way, and it may be kind of an illusion. Like there may be something that presents itself in a certain way and it seems enticing. It seems desirable, but it's a little bit of someone presenting themselves in a false way to get you intrigued. I also see that there may be some illusions surrounding what actually happened between you and this person, or the way that you view the entire experience, the entire lesson, where you're still maybe like, yeah, I'm working through the bitterness, I'm letting it go. But the illusion is that like, there's nothing to be bitter about. There's nothing to like kind of stay stuck on. There's plenty of reason to kind of move on with your life and go chase new opportunities. And the illusion may be that there is no there is no real like grand meaning for why this person did what they did or why you had a fallout. It could be as simple as you just needed to learn how to set better boundaries. Like there's a lot of swords here. Maybe you just needed to set better boundaries. Maybe you just really needed to level up. Maybe it has nothing to do with these people, but everything to do with the shadow work that you were doing and how you were trying to ascend. And there was just a lot of energies you had to let go of. I think there's illusion surrounding the overall lesson of this experience of whoever this fallout was, whatever happened between you and this other person or people. I think the lesson is that you're a lot more careful now. You're a lot more independent now. And maybe you're not as fazed by the illusions and the BS anymore. King of Wands, you're a lot more confident. You're a lot more poised and sure of yourself. You feel like you can make better decisions because you're smarter and wiser now, and you're more confident in your decision making. You're more confident in your warmth and kind of what you bring to the table. You know that because you worked through a lot of this shadow work, a lot of this emotional energy, you know that has made you, you shed a lot of stuff, and so you're glowing a little bit differently now. You feel a little bit lighter, you can move more freely, and you're feeling a little bit more confident. And the Three of Wands. You feel like opportunities are opening up for you. You feel pretty good and optimistic, and there's new things opening up to you. And I think that there just may be a little bit more of this, I need to let go of the bitterness and resentment in order for you to really move forward into the future. In order for you to really move towards these new things that you've been making yourself. Because things are going to pick up for you really soon. Yeah, and the Two of Wands in reverse. Just don't get too caught up in the planning of it. I think you may be looking into the future and trying to plan a lot of things right now. But there's not a ton that you can plan. Don't get caught up in the planning. Just be ready to kind of jump in and go when things start to pick up. Because there's a lot that's going to be on the horizon for you. There's better things out there for you. Just don't get caught up in the decision making. You know, sometimes things are presented as a decision and it's not as big of a deal as we make it out to be. That's what I'm saying, like with the Lovers and the Hangman and the Seven, you're like, oh my God, there's this decision presented in front of me, and one option is I'm going to stay stuck in the same cycle and one is not. I think that's part of the illusion. I think that it's not as serious as that. I feel like there's this energy of getting caught up in the decision making process and the planning stages of all this. But I think that when the opportunity presents itself, you're just going to take it and go. This could have to do with anything. This could have to do with moving. This could have to do with new relationships. Or even, you know, maybe this person is coming back to you in a very warm and inviting way. And it's not about a decision to be made. It's just about going with the flow, going with the energy. Maybe they're very different now. Maybe you two actually do have a potential future in some way, to be friends again, to be friendly with each other, to be, you know, warm family members towards each other again. It could be any kind of relationship, really. All right, any other messages for the collective? I'm thinking I'm going to wrap up. Any other messages here for the collective? Any other messages here for the collective? The Two of Cups in reverse. Again, don't get caught up in the decision making. You may be feeling like putting a lot of weight on, what does this connection mean? What does this connection serve as a purpose in my life? You know, is this person meant to be in my life? Is this person meant to help me grow? Are we meant to be friends? Are we meant to have a strong, you know, family connection? Are we meant to have a relationship? Are we meant to be together? But I think this is actually, this whole experience, this whole lesson is actually an opportunity for you. You really need to be looking at yourself. You really need to be checking in with yourself. I think this is an opportunity to but really see that you have grown a lot. You've really grown into a deeper self-understanding. You've grown into a deeper self-love that you have for yourself. Whatever decisions may be coming back up in terms of like who you're letting into your energy, who you're allowing to open yourself back up to and try to rebuild trust, try to rebuild a connection with. It's really about, do you love yourself? Are you in a good place emotionally? Are you feeling grounded enough to let these people in? If you feel like that's a no, then maybe not. I feel like you're thinking a lot about the people and whatever happened, whatever went down between you two or you many that caused this ending, that caused you to cut off this energy from your life, that caused you to move into a much more independent space in your life. I think you're very focused on the person and on the connection when really this whole lesson was about you and moving through a lot of shadow work. Do you love yourself and care enough about yourself to let go of someone that may be really terrible for you? Do you love and care about yourself enough to prioritize yourself and your emotional needs over a connection that maybe not is serving you in the best way? I think just in general, this is about you and how you are feeling emotionally, and it's not necessarily about the connection. There may be a connection coming back up for you that's presenting itself as like, oh, there's this choice I have to make about whether or not to let this person in. I think it's more about, how much have I grown? How much have I changed emotionally? How much depth have I grown into within myself? Do I have enough emotional power and autonomy to make the right decisions for myself about who I let in? I don't think it's about the person. I think it's about you and your emotional journey. I think I want to leave it there, collective. I really liked this energy. I think that's going to be, I feel like that's still some Scorpio full moon energy left over. And I think as we're moving into a lot of Gemini energy, I feel like Gemini energy has a lot to do with who we're connected to peer-wise. Like Gemini energy reminds me of the third house, which is a lot about like siblings and like the people who are your peers, who you kind of connect with at day-to-day level, at a very basic level. And I think we're going to be thinking about, our emotional transformations and how maybe the people around us fit into these new versions of ourselves, or how they do not fit into who we are now as people, how we've transformed, and how people who knew us before some of our transitions in life may not be in alignment with who we are now. And that's always a big theme. I see that theme come up a lot, especially in Gemini readings. So I think that's going to be some interesting Gemini energy during this Gemini season. I'm really stumbling over my words. But I really wanted to do a collective reading. I hope y'all enjoyed this. If this resonated with you in any way, anything at all, just leave a comment. I would absolutely love to hear about how this really connected to you and how you maybe got some messages out of this. Again, as always, in my description box, if you want to schedule a personal reading with me, just reach out to my email. You can follow me on Instagram. You can check out those Spotify playlists. You can donate to my PayPal. You can check out my Etsy shop, and you can check out Hannah's Etsy shop. I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I will see you in the Gemini readings. Thank you for watching.